Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going in Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going in Raw. Going in Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up, it's your girl Sasha Banks, Legit Foster, and you are watching Going in Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendos, and Larson.
Also, Cal.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need. Are those sloths on your shirt?
Yeah.
I just noticed that. That is a great shirt.
These are sloths, and they're staring at the moon. You know, I've seen the mountain T-shirts where you have the wolves staring at the moon or whatever kind of animals stare at the moon. Me, I got sloths.
That's amazing. That's the best T-shirt. Did you get that at a rest stop, too?
No, this one I did not get at a rest stop. I found it online. I forget what the store's called, but I'm just like, oh my god,
that's amazing.
There's sloths. Yeah, friend, as you can see, but yeah, there's sloths.
It's like the Milky Way and the moon. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was distracting. But I
know it's funny.
It's a worthwhile distraction.
I've been hanging out with you for 40 minutes and you haven't noticed, and then all of a sudden the show comes on and you're just like,
I know. Well, I'm over here on my two computers over here trying to get all this stuff done.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to focus on Cal yet, so I'm sorry, Cal.
Oh, that's okay.
Anyways, this is Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to, found right here, youtube.com/Steven Larson. If you're subscribing, make sure that notification bell thing is pressed or something. You know, I've been hearing things that people have been having issues with notifications. In fact, there's not a whole lot of people here. That's weird. Anyways, we'll keep going.
Oh, it's Monday.
Yeah. So anyways, also, Going in Raw can be found wherever fine podcasts are available. Whatever podcast platform you're on, odds are Going in Raw is there. Those are the plugs we need? Yes, that's it. How was your weekend, good sir?
I had a pretty good weekend. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just I had a match Saturday at the Virgil Flynn Legacy show. It's tough because it was the last show for this company in Sacramento because we lost our good friend Virgil Flynn last year. He passed away, and the show was another fundraiser for his family, and it was touching. I mean, all us NorCal guys, we know everybody, and we know pretty much what's going on with each other's lives. So when we lose a brother, you know, it's really, really hard. But, you know, the show must go on, and it was the last show, and I had a little match. It was a triple threat, big hoss fight. It was me, Drake Frost. Legit, I asked him what he weighed, and he said 340, 350. So he's a big dude, and Super Beast weighs 250, 260.
Wow.
So it was a big man match, and it didn't go on too long. It went 10 minutes. So, I mean, it wasn't like how those little wrestlers, they do spots out glow. We didn't really do a lot of spots, but I did hit a couple gut wrenches on Super Beast. And
nice.
I did throw big Drake Frost with a nice German. So I had fun in that match.
Nice.
And then finished watching Stranger Things, and that was
cool.
It. Yeah, it was okay.
Cool. Somehow the stream got put unlisted, not public. That's why there's hardly anybody here. So sorry about that, everybody.
Okay.
Still working out the kinks and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's Monday.
Yeah, it is Monday. It's the case of Mondays. No, it should be fixed now, public. If you guys can do me a solid and retweet stuff so everybody knows it's happening, that'd be great.
Yep.
While we're getting started, but might just have like 50 people here. I did switch it to public. Anyways, on with the show. What was I going to say? Now I'm distracted.
How was your weekend, by the way?
It was all right. I did a lot of yard work yesterday, so I can go to the gym for 2 hours and not really be that sore. You put me out in the backyard and dig up a bush, and I feel like an old man.
Yeah, it hurt throughout your lower back, man.
Yeah, it hurts.
Oh, it sucks. I hate yard work.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I'm really not.
It's like you got to do it because, like, if you have a bad yard, it kind of, it leaves a bad taste among the neighbors.
Yeah, it can.
Like, oh, look at his yard. It's not very good. They didn't trim the grass, and there's weeds everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I hate yard work.
You don't feel like you can tap people over either if your yard's unkempt,
Yeah.
You can't entertain.
No, it sucks.
It does suck.
Yard work sucks.
Someone who doesn't suck, that's Aleister Black.
No, he's awesome.
He is awesome. So he's got a match apparently coming up soon at Extreme Rules. And we've been hearing for a little bit that Cesaro could be his opponent. However, WrestleVotes may have added a wrinkle to that story. Quote, I'm told Cesaro was the original planned opponent for Aleister Black for Extreme Rules, and in fact, he may still be. This was, however, prior to Heyman and Bischoff coming back into the fold. No idea if they want something else instead. We will see. Aleister Black is on SmackDown.
Yep.
As far as I know, Bischoff isn't starting day-to-day operations of SmackDown until after Extreme Rules.
Yep.
So if Bischoff coming on is going to change anything, I'd be really surprised because he's actually not really starting until after that particular show. However, if, say, Heyman has some plans for Cesaro over on Raw, I know he was in that faction briefly with on main event with EC3 and Bob Roode.
Yeah, Bob Roode with the main event Muscle
Men. Yeah.
Muscle Men.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to preclude him, dominating main event with that particular faction.
Yeah.
If that's going to preclude him having a match with Aleister Black over on SmackDown. But it'd be cool if that happened because we all know Cesaro's a spectacular wrestler.
Yeah.
One of the best in-ring performers there is.
Oh, man. There was I remember watching a live event match with him and Pac, and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, once you just let that guy run loose, he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen moments where he does it from time to time. But
yeah. Oh, his matches with Ricochet were all great.
Oh, they're awesome. Dude, he's like, he can base anyone. He's the strongest guy pound for pound from what everybody says. It's just like, I remember him and Sheamus were on the Jericho podcast, and Sheamus is like, he will be a world champ.
Yeah.
Just given the opportunity, he could run with it and go with it. But yeah, I love Cesaro. And if it's Cesaro versus Aleister, that'd be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
Be hard hitting.
But for the sake of discussion, let's say Bischoff decides, no, I'm going to pull the plug on that particular feud, but I still want Aleister Black to wrestle at Extreme Rules because we've been advertising it, so it kind of needs to happen. Let's take a moment. Let us power rank, if we can, 5 other potential opponents for Aleister Black at Extreme Rules. I guess it doesn't have to be anybody on SmackDown per se because wild card rule.
Wild card.
Tops on my personal list would probably be Shinsuke Nakamura. However, he's in a thing now, seemingly with Finn Balor. That takes him out of the equation.
Yeah.
So we need 5 people who are actually not doing anything right now.
Well, you said that earlier that Randy hurt his neck or something.
Yeah, that he had a neck injury that he was taking. This Fightful was talking about it. See if I can pull that info up real quick. It wasn't anything serious. Apparently, it was just rest and recuperation was supposed to be enough to clear it up.
Yeah.
But they were wrestling on the house show circuit.
Yeah.
And in fact, I believe Aleister, it was one of Orton's last matches before taking this respite was with Aleister on at a house show. Maybe it was just on Fightful Select, but they had that up. I'll pull it up real quick. But that's a good option because Randall might not be the most exciting wrestler.
But I feel like his pace and the way he carries himself to the ring could, be interesting to see that with Aleister. Mm-hmm. Just as long as it's not heavy heat from Randy, like he's just slowed the pace down so much to where Aleister can't show his quickness and his explosiveness.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I kind of would worry if he worked Randy, because Randy's so, like...
Deliberate.
Yeah, deliberate.
Yeah.
So.
This is what Fightful Select said. If you're not signed up to Fightful Select, can't recommend enough. Fightful does great work. Sean Ross Sapp had a pleasure meeting him at StarCast 2. Hell of a guy. Quote, Fightful has learned that Randy Orton has been dealing with somewhat of a neck injury, which is evaluated last week. Orton jammed his neck against Aleister and already had vacation time coming up. He was given additional 2 weeks prior in order to rest up accordingly. Orton was actually slated to appear at last night's live event and missed it due to travel and expected to be back at tonight's live event. The injury is said to not be serious, but there wasn't immediate plans for Orton at TV and was given time off to heal up. So that's great, not serious, because a motivated Randy Orton can do really, 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 really good work. Yeah. So that being said, I'll put Randall Orton number 2 on these power rankings because I think that would be interesting dynamic, as you mentioned. Different paces, different styles. Yeah. And if Orton's working heel, that's always fun.
And a lot of the times they'll take an older vet guy and they'll pair him up with one of the younger guys just to kind of get them acclimated to that WWE style. Yeah. Because in NXT, it seemed like they aren't exactly – they still do a indie-ish style. Mm-hmm. So, and then WWE is super TV. So, I can see if they had good chemistry or something, that would be the one because, Randy comes out of nowhere now.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But, you said Randy. I'll say obvious one's Bray. It would be fun to see that how Bray's this happy, light guy that has an extremely dark background.
Yeah.
Go against Aleister, who is nothing but dark. So you have these two dark demeanor guys going at it.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun.
That would be cool. The only downside of that is that one of them would have to lose.
Yeah. I guess the scenario there is that that would suck. But if they could do it to where nobody loses.
Everybody wins.
If they took a page out of AEW, Cody versus Darby Allin,
there you go.
Time ran up. That's how they
time limit draws.
Time limit draw.
Entire 6-month feud. That'd be spectacular. Yeah. I'll say someone else that would make a call. Definitely not Dolph Ziggler.
No.
He's been kind of the gatekeeper in WWE for far too long. However, someone who did play gatekeeper in NXT, I think would make a great opponent for Aleister Black, especially given his current gimmick. Although he's been kind of hesitant to fight, but maybe he wants to knock on this person's door to criticize his approach for trying to make a match. Because if you really want to make a match, should you do it in the bowels of the arena in a dark room? No, you should do it in the middle of the ring. I'm talking about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black, I think, would be a great match.
That would be awesome.
It would guarantee Aleister at least one, if not a series of victories, because Sami Zayn really can't win a match these days.
It would be funny to hear Sami's explanation why he knocked on the door.
Yeah.
Because he'd be like, and I figured, why not knock on the door, see what see what you're doing in your room,
see what the deal is
see
about.
What the deal is, That would be hilarious.
That would be pretty.
Because then Sami's already taken losses,
Oh yeah.
So personally, anyway, I like these three right now because they're all defined characters.
Mm-hmm.
I remember somebody else, one of the friendos said Mustafa Ali would be a cool choice, but that's another one of the scenarios that would suck that one of those guys would have to lose. Then another one's Buddy Murphy. That's another one I'm just like...
Yeah, but I wonder at this point...
He doesn't have a character or anything.
Yeah, but I wonder at this point if they put on a series of spectacular matches, if that's kind of enough for Buddy on the main roster.
Yeah.
At least he's on TV.
Yeah, and then what's cool about the relationship between Buddy and Aleister, if you guys caught, Buddy did the... Lillian Garcia show, and he said that he got his motivation back to want to perform because he did a lot of matches with Aleister Black in the NXT loop, and that got the door open for him to do 205 Live.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting, but I just don't see it creative-wise that working out.
Yeah, they're not doing anything with Buddy Murphy except he's been having a match against Mustafa, dark matches before tapings.
Yeah. I will. This is a funny one. I'm not gonna rank it, but what if Aleister Black's, he's in this little dark room, and then the room next to that dark room is Mojo Rawley in the mirror screaming, and he's like, "Fight me!" And then you just have Mojo talking to himself in the mirror in the same dark room.
That'd be funny. Somebody knock on that door.
Knock on the door. Not right now. I'm looking in the mirror.
I know my mirror's broken. It'd be really been great if they had. Nakamura versus Finn Balor is a cool feud. And all.
Yeah,
we kind of saw a little bit of that in NXT when Balor was on his way out.
Yeah.
But the preeminent striker on the main roster, Nakamura, taking on preeminent striker in NXT.
You know what? Let's put that. I think that's the last one. Nakamura.
That's gotta be number one.
That's gotta be number one.
Why not make it a triple threat for the Intercontinental title or something?
Yeah. That would be that's the match right there.
Yeah.
Nakamura knocks on the door. Then you get Finn. Mm-hmm. That'd be really. What if it's Finn?
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting too.
That'd be cool.
Man, I had to get my mind running to start thinking of guys. But yeah, I like that list. Man, that'd be so Black versus Finn, and then you get Demon Finn versus Aleister Black.
Yeah.
The power of the left hand versus the
what is the demon, the Corey Graves thing, the left hand path, something like that.
The righteous path with the left hand or something.
He had 10 different wannabe catchphrases for Aleister when he made his debut.
Brooding,
moody, yeah. Moody. Fight for those left behind. Fight for the blue collar people of this world.
Just like Heavy Machinery. They have the same motives.
Blue collar solid. That's right.
Blue collar solid.
That's right. Yeah. Anyways. Before we move on, here's a word from the sponsor of today's episode, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, you can get easy seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered directly to your door. All you have to do, take those ingredients out of the box, cook them up, and enjoy.
HelloFresh makes cooking awesome meals at home a reality, regardless of your comfort in the kitchen. From step-by-step recipes to pre-measured ingredients, you'll have everything you need to get a delicious dinner on the table in just about half an hour.
It really is about a half hour. Break out of your dinner rut with HelloFresh's 17 seasonal chef-curated recipes each week, and there's something for everyone, from family recipes to calorie-smart and vegetarian, and fun menu series like Hall of Fame. How can you say no to a recipe that's a Hall of Famer? And craft burgers. And after trying HelloFresh, I can tell you that it's awesome. The wide variety of recipes offered have all been great. The beef bulgogi being a personal favorite. That was actually really, really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I made sure I had leftovers the next day.
That's awesome.
So I can enjoy it yet again. And everything was super easy to cook. And right now, friendos can take advantage of HelloFresh's special offer. Get $80 off your first month by going to HelloFresh.com/GoingInRaw80 and using promo code GoingInRaw80.
If it's in the Hall of Fame, you got to pay respect to it and eat it.
The beef bulgogi one was in the Hall of Fame, and it was a worthy entrant.
If it's a Hall of Famer, then you know, as they say, be respectful, eat it.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the Hall of Fame.
It's in the Hall of Fame.
But also, you can get $20 off your first 4 boxes by going to HelloFresh.com/GoingInRaw80 and entering the promo code GoingInRaw80.
And thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's show. And you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to HelloFresh.com/GoingInRaw80 and using the promo code GoingInRaw80. That's all one word. Next, let's talk about the G1. I know you said you weren't sure you had a chance to watch it over the weekend. You were wrestling your own match.
I was on my own match. So I did catch some of the interviews. I mean, I watched Cobb's interview about his tag match, and then I was listening to one of the podcasts that were kind of going over it. Because I had Will Ospreay winning against
Lance Archer.
And then he lost. But it's a round robin, so everything's on points.
And it fits with Will Ospreay's story of him trying to be the junior heavyweight, taking on the heavyweight competitors. And Lance Archer's a huge dude.
He's a big guy. He's like 6'7".
Yeah, and that was a hell of a match. All in all, the show was a ton of fun. They kept it kind of light and breezy as New Japan shows go. It was only about 3.5 hours. Sometimes they can push 4 hours plus. Didn't feel like any filler. Even the undercard tag matches were fun, and they were trying to develop some story. Specifically, you got Tomohiro Ishii and Jeff Cobb about to duke it out in the G1 tournament. They were both involved in an awesome tag match with a couple of young lions. Show kicked off with Guerrillas of Destiny taking on Yo and Sho, Roppongi 3K. It seems like Yo and Sho are making the move up to the heavyweight tag ranks. Kind of similar to Ospreay's story, though. Maybe not quite ready for that. They had a fun match against Guerrillas of Destiny. They kept it pretty, again, light, breezy, fast-paced, emphasis on the action. Featured a really awesome gun stun out of nowhere from Tama Tonga. In the end, Guerrillas of Destiny, they picked up the win following like a second rope super powerbomb from Camacho, Tongaloa.
Yeah, Tongaloa.
Really fun match. Really, basically all the matches were tons of fun. I can't think of a dud between them because more often than not, they didn't overstay their welcome. So that's always fun. Next, we had Shota Umino, John Moxley's personal young lion, seemingly, teaming up, in this case, with Tomohiro Ishii to take on Ren Narita and Jeff Cobb. All that Jeff Cobb and Ishii wanted to do was beat the hell out of each other.
Oh, that's perfect.
They were basically forced out of the match, kind of. They were tagged out by their young lion partners. But they just wanted to beat the hell out of each other.
So that's the setup. Is they have young lions in their corner?
No, they're tagging with them. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So you have Cobb and Ishii. God, I love Ishii.
Oh, he's such man.
When I wasn't sure what to think of him when I first saw him, because he just kind of looks.
He looks like a pretty normal dude.
No, yeah, just like a normal guy.
Yeah.
And then you just see how he's so strike heavy and he hits hard. Mm-hmm. And he's a dude you just don't want to mess with.
He's a powerhouse too.
Yeah.
I remember we went to the first pair of U.S. shows, New Japan U.S. shows, Steve and I, and the second night we were sitting like second row right by the ramp, and he walks by us and he's like, man, he's like 5'8".
Yeah.
He's not that large.
No.
I'd be surprised if he was 200 pounds. But man, he can basically lift up anybody.
But that's the thing. Like he's low level gravity, and he's stockier than
he's thick.
He's thick. He's a stocky dude.
And then
It's just, but it's cool seeing Cobb and him go out because Cobb's like 5'10".
Yeah.
But he weighs 260.
Yeah.
Like Jeff's thick.
Yeah.
Like the thickest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
So seeing two thick, short, stocky guys just
Throwing
walloping.
forearms at each
and
other.
they're all in their great shape too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
man, have they gone singles before?
They said during the show they had in Rev Pro. They have it in New Japan.
Okay.
I think it was in Rev Pro and then somewhere else. But I don't believe it was in New Japan.
I want to see that match.
So they're both in the B block.
Yeah.
For the tournament.
Yeah.
So they'll have a match. I think they said next. I think they're each other's first opponents in the G1.
Oh.
So it's probably this weekend.
Okay,
They'll
that's
probably
awesome.
start having them up. Jeff Cobb pinned Umino after a tour of the islands, and then Ishii gets in there, and they start trading forearms, then be pulled apart.
Yeah.
And they
So
start.
that's setting up for their match to the G1.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard-hitting, bruising affair.
In that case, if that's next week, then or when is the next?
I think that they said this upcoming weekend they're going to
Okay.
start. They're all traveling back to Japan. They're going to start the tournament in earnest then.
Yeah, then that might be a match I want to try to
Yeah.
find and watch.
Next, we had Chaos members Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto taking on Bullet Club members Chase Owens and Jay White. Chase Owens was actually wildly entertaining in this match.
Oh, that's cool.
Just acting a fool. Hiroki Goto was in that ring like he owned it. I guess he's been out of action for a little bit, but he's in great shape.
Yeah.
He looked great. He picked up the win for Chaos, pinning Chase Owens after a GTR. Because Chase Owens tried to hit his package pile driver, couldn't do it.
Nice.
Jay White seemingly spent most of this match on the outside just brawling. Jay White's really had a bit of a fall from grace just like a couple months ago. Well, in April, he was the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
Now Hiroki Goto's great. He's probably going to be in a feud with him in the fall and stuff through the G1. But just a year ago, Jay White was basically trying to break up Chaos.
Well, it's tough because it's one of those things where you force something so much, and like this is a guy, Jay White's super young, very talented guy.
Yeah.
But I remember you guys were talking about if he has this character down as the Switchblade, and even I wasn't like looking at him. I was just kind of didn't. He's got like a really soft baby face.
Yeah, he does.
So like Switchblade character, you gotta be grizzled. And,
Yeah,
like,
leathery.
rugged, leathery, and I don't know how much experience he has. I mean, like, yeah, he was a young lion for a long time.
I know he went on excursion to Ring of Honor. We saw him at a PWG show. But I think he's like 25, 26.
Yeah,
He's still super young.
Super young. I mean, and when he has more experience, I think he'll have a more defined, like, ring.
It seems like day by day he's inhabiting that character a bit better.
Yeah.
Like in the ring, he's really good.
Yeah.
It's just from the character standpoint. I think
Yeah.
his in-ring work as a character is pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's just his promo stuff. He's still a little too soft-spoken.
I kind of feel the same
He
way.
needs to start smoking. I mean, I don't advocate for smoking at all.
He
but-
needs to grizzle up a bit.
But I think if he
rasp.
started like a serious smoking habit, and get some rasp to his voice.
He needs to grow facial hair, too.
He does. He has a beard now.
Oh, he has a beard?
Well, he has
Okay.
like a thick goatee.
He needs a mustache.
Yeah, he's got that.
He needs to get like a big, thick mustache.
He kind of has like a swashbuckling musketeer thing going on. With his
Okay,
facial hair
then
now.
I didn't see the match, so I don't really know what he looks like.
I
but
think it's a relatively recent addition to his face.
good. That helps kind of grizzle him up a bit.
Make him look a bit more grown up.
Yeah.
Because he kind of needs that to be that character.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was a fun match. Like I said, all these matches were tons of fun. After that, whoa, sorry. Gotta get to my notes here. Where was next? We had a 6-man tag match: Jushin Thunder Liger, Juice Robinson, and Toru Yano taking on Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito. This match, tons of fun, especially like LIJ when they work in tandem, doing tag moves together is tons of fun. Doing drop kicks on everybody's faces and stuff. Everybody. Actually, Juice wasn't in this match a whole lot.
I was gonna say how much did Juice do?
He didn't do a whole lot. He was trying to set up Shingo for Pulp Friction, and Shingo got out of it and dropped him with a gory bomb.
Oh, okay.
But I think they're in the same block. They might be first round match opponents in the G1.
Nice.
I think this is kind of Liger's on his farewell tour.
Yeah.
So it was a good send off for him, at least in Dallas. Yano got the pin on Bushi after a low blow in a small package. Typical Yano stuff, but still wildly entertaining. Cool. Can't get enough of Yano.
That's awesome.
And then the G1 matches started in earnest. First one, Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer. Lance Archer's got a bit of a new look. He's got all the hair here shaved off. His hair that's left on top is super long, and it's like kind of dyed red towards the end.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
He's been soaking it in blood. He's got new ring gear. Yeah, I really liked the spitting gimmick he had.
I was about to say, did he like hawk any loogies?
No,
probably not in Dallas.
They don't let him do it anymore. New Japan won't let him do it anymore.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
it's been for a while.
Yeah, well, I can see why they would.
Oh, totally. It's gross, but it's wild. It's funny. It's all get out. Because when we went to the second New Japan show and we didn't get ringside, I wasn't that upset, especially once I found out he was on the card. Because at that point, oh, dude. So he comes down through the curtain, down the stage, and right as the stage area, there's a barricade that turns for the ramp to go down the ring. There's a security guard standing right in that corner. Lance Archer gets a mouthful of water, turns right to the security guard and spits water all in his face.
Oh my god!
I was like, oh man, he's like, he can get his ass kicked. But then again, Lance Archer's gigantic.
Yeah.
This was a really, really fun match. Lance Archer, I know he's been around forever. He's massive, but he can still move pretty well for a dude his size.
Yeah, yeah. And you got to be able to move to keep up with Ospreay.
And he had no problem
what he
keeping up.
does. That's cool.
The match started with Archer charging towards Ospreay. Ospreay countered with a Spanish Fly.
Oh my god!
That's how the match began. And then Archer rolled the outside. Ospreay hit a high flying move, got him back in the ring, goes for a cover, and Archer kicks out like 1 1/4.
Wow.
And it was pretty much the story of Ospreay trying as he might to use his quickness advantage, his aerial skills to fell the larger man. However, Archer always found a way to overpower Will Ospreay. Pretty early in the match, they were brawling outside. Archer just picked up Ospreay and chokeslammed him through a table.
No,
ringside.
Nice.
And he dropped him with a couple other pretty huge power moves. There's this great spot where Ospreay is on the top rope, and Archer like runs up the ropes and hits Ospreay with a knee.
Oh, geez.
You don't see that from a dude that
No.
huge.
So wait, so Ospreay was on the top.
He was sitting on the top turnbuckle.
And I see. So he did the running knee. That's cool.
Stepping
Like
up the
CM
ropes.
Punk does it.
Yeah. Stepping up
Okay.
the ropes. It was pretty. And he did it super quick. It wasn't like it was lumbering by any stretch of the imagination. It was quick. And
That's awesome.
Felt violent. And then Archer, he's been using the Iron Claw, I guess, as his finish.
Okay.
And so he got an Ospreay once. Ospreay escaped. And then the finish saw Archer hit his previous, I guess called Blackout. His old finisher was like a reverse Razor's Edge kind of.
Okay.
And then followed up with the Iron Claw to get the pin.
Nice.
But if you had a chance to check it out, do. It's awesome. It was a really fun match.
I might have to look that up when after I leave here. And
Yeah,
just go
it's
find
really
it.
good. Next, we had Evil versus Bad Luck Fale. Bad Luck Fale matches you kind of have to overbook because he's just kind of a huge lumbering dude.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
He's a heavy guy.
And they did that because this match started off with a brawl on the ramp. Evil kept trying to body slam Fale throughout the match. He tried to do it on the ramp, couldn't do it. Chairs were involved. Had a ref bump so that Bad Luck Fale could get the upper hand. He won with a Bad Luck Fall. But we had all your typical chair shots with Evil.
Yeah.
He puts the chair on the neck and hits some stuff
I
like
see.
that. So Bad Luck Fale picked up the win. 2 points for Bad Luck Fale.
Nice. So all the big guys are winning right now so far.
Yeah. It's weird because like they don't do much with Bad Luck Fale generally through the course of the year, but he's typically always in the G1 and always has a decent showing.
That's funny. Probably just because he's been there forever and just.
And I guess storyline wise, he's a huge dude that smaller guys have to overcome. You know?
Yeah.
Next, maybe the match of the night, Sonata taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Just a technical masterclass.
That's awesome.
Which the level of opponents you'd always expect from Zack Sabre Jr. from a technical wrestling standpoint.
Yeah.
But then Sonata was matching him almost move for move. It was incredible. The opening sequence was awesome. The finish just as awesome.
Yeah.
It was maybe 8 minutes before there was any striking involved in this match. By and large, it was all technical mat wrestling. There was a couple funny spots where Sonata's been using the Paradise Lock and then hitting people with drop kicks from that. And there was one time he tried to do a Zack Sabre Jr. He reversed like that.
Yeah.
Another time, so Sonata has Sabre in kind of position, puts his arm under his leg, and Zack would just do this. He tried for the other arm.
He just pulls it out.
Yeah, he's just being super arrogant about it. Yeah.
That's the thing I was going to say. With a lot of mat wrestling, you don't really have to call a whole lot. It's like a lot of feel and like just it. To me, when you have a mat wrestling match, I have an ego because of my background in mat wrestling. So if someone's gonna try to like go hold for me, and I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can legit shoot, that guys are gonna like really go at it. So that's something to be said. If these guys are mat wrestling for the first 10 minutes, that's a big ego thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to roll around and like you kind of jiu-jitsu style wrestling, catchers catch can.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I will go with you.
Yeah.
You know, see what you got, and then eventually, if you're cool with each other, then you work your way up from there. So I could see this match being like a big, oh, you're gonna put that hole on me, I'll put this hole on you.
Oh,
Let's
that's
see
totally
how well
how
you
it
can.
was.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And especially from Saber's standpoint, from a character perspective, he was being super arrogant about it. Sonata, he always plays things pretty cool, character-wise. But Saber was being super arrogant about things. At one point, he rolls out of the ring and just take a breather, and it's a 20 count.
Yeah.
And he's just ringside, and it's getting like to 15, and somebody ringside must be kind of talking trash, and he's all, can't hear what he's saying, but he's like fake, acting like he's all concerned.
Yeah.
Gets back in the ring at 19, turns to that group of people and flips them off.
God, dude, if there's a crowd that really appreciates mat wrestling, it makes matches so much more fun for the guys. Because there's times where, like, I've done that kind of style at, like, little house shows in some little town, and you might catch a little kid or just some white trash person to go, this is boring. What are you doing? This is weird. I don't like this. So having somebody in the crowd appreciate it makes it so much. God, it's like a huge relief.
Yeah.
So when people can appreciate good mat wrestling for what it is, actual wrestling, it makes it so much more fun.
The crowd was super into the show from the opening bell.
That's awesome.
It wasn't a huge crowd. I guess it's a huge basketball arena where the Dallas Mavericks play, so that probably seats 15,000. There might have been 5,000 people there, which is kind of the only bummer about the show is that you can tell there's a lot of empty seats.
Yeah.
But the crowd, everybody in that building was into the show.
That's cool.
They were into this match, and these two guys, even though it was all mat based, really kept the match moving.
Yeah, as long as you can blow up faster from mat wrestling than actual, being upright. Because when you're bent over and you're putting holds, you're using your entire body to control the person. You get blown up really fast.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good for these guys keeping it moving.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, they were trying to do a move, counter into another counter into another counter. The finish saw, first there was a series of roll-up attempts. They all escaped, and then finally Sonata pinned Zack Sabre Jr. using that kind of arching bridge that Zack's been known to use quite a bit. Zack, after the match, was incredulous, going after the ref for one thing I forgot to mention. I was happy to see Lance Archer back because the first thing he did when he got to ringside was lay out a young lion.
Oh!
A la his mentor, Minoru Suzuki.
Perfect.
It was great.
That's great.
So Zack Sabre Jr., he lays out the ref. He's still mad. He's throwing a fit. He goes up the ramp. He lays out a young lion, too. And he dropped an awesome promo after the match.
Yeah.
Saying how people in America don't appreciate technical wrestling.
See, I agree. I agree. He's right. They don't. They seriously don't.
He was saying how people make mistakes. He said even Brian Eno worked with Coldplay, throwing some shade at Coldplay. Awesome stuff.
Coldplay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Coldplay fan either.
I like them on occasion, but man, after that Super Bowl, I'm like, no, they are not Coldplay. They are not an arena band.
They try to be though.
No,
they really want to be U2.
Yeah.
Sonata wins. He gets 2 points. Next, the New Japan. Well, at least the latest New Japan debut of Kenta. I guess he actually had wrestled for New Japan like 15 years ago or something like that. Kevin Kelly was saying.
Yeah.
He's taking on Kota Ibushi. This match hurt to watch because they're just kicking each other stiff.
Yeah.
Basically the entire time. It's just stiff kicks. I guess they both have kickboxing backgrounds. And yeah, the whole opening part of the match was just them kicking each other. There was this point towards the end where Kenta was kicking Kota Ibushi in the back of the head repeatedly. I mean, no, he's kicking him on the neck, but it looks like he's kicking him in the head, and they were stiff. At one point, it looked like Kota Ibushi twisted his ankle a little bit, which I was worried made him take the foot off the throttle for the end of the match.
Yeah.
But the finish was still cool, and we got to see a GTS from Kenta. He put Kota to sleep, picked up the win, but Kota was doing a hell of a job selling Kenta. Like, he'd kick him, and he looked like he got ran over by a bus. He was really selling for Kenta, really putting him over.
That's great.
And the crowd was really into this match. There was dueling Kota, Ibushi, Kenta chants back and forth.
Yeah.
Crowd was super into it.
Yeah, it's nice to see that Kenta's coming back, hitting strikes like he's familiar with. Because I remember when he showed up in developmental, when I wasn't super familiar with the Japanese pro wrestling when I got signed. 'Cause I just didn't know. And I wasn't sure like how big of a deal Kenta was when he came in. And when I saw him manhandle the Ascension in his debut, I was like, okay, obviously he must be well known. And then I watched him go out there and strike. And then when he's in developmental, his strikes weren't super heavy. You know, like people were saying, he was getting held back. And then now hearing that in this match, hard hitting without holding anything back. And I'm sure, you know, Kota Ibushi and Kenta have a pretty good, I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're cool. So them laying it in as hard as they can, usually you can only really do that with someone you're really cool with. If you do it with someone you don't really like, you get some heat with the boys.
You can get some receipts too.
Get some receipts. So, and Kota's got the best kicks.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what he's known for having the best kicks in all of pro wrestling. So, for them just kicking the crap out of each other, I could see that being, you know.
They were like leg haymakers.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Oh my gosh.
There's one point where Kenta hits his head kick on Kota Ibushi. He just drops like a sack of potatoes.
Wow.
It's great.
And Kota can sell like nobody
he's a
else.
great seller.
He's really good. He does the whole full body sell, which is a lot of times really hard for a lot of guys to do.
When he took the go to sleep to finish the match,
Yeah.
so Kenta hits it, Kota hits the mat. And
Did he do a back bump, or when he sold it, did he just kind of like collapse?
So he did. He on impact he kind of fell backwards.
Yeah.
So he did the back bump.
Yeah.
But he did this thing.
Oh,
Stiff.
he went stiff,
Like he was concussed.
like how Ben Askren was after he got knocked out
Yeah.
by George Mazadov.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, V trigger.
Yeah. It was exactly like that. He just went. He fell on his back and went stiff instantly, like he just got knocked the heck out. It was a great sell.
Yeah.
Fun match. A strong return showing for Kenta. I'm going to be interested to see how his match against other people in the A block, namely, like how is he going to be able to beat Bad Luck Fale?
Yeah,
Bad Luck
yeah.
Fale is basically twice the size that he is.
Yeah.
But Kenta versus Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be great. Kenta versus Will Ospreay is going to be great. There's a lot of awesome dream matches against Okada, which we'll get to now because the main event of the show, for the first time on American soil, we got Kazuchika Okada taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. This wasn't quite Rock Hogan levels of crowd enthusiasm. Pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Everybody in that building understood the magnitude of what they were witnessing, and both Okada and Tanahashi saw that the crowd was in an absolute fervor for this match and let the opening of the match breathe.
Wow.
They weren't ready to start going at it. They were letting the crowd have their moment to appreciate the moment that they were witnessing.
That's great, and that's something that like that comes with experience. Because a lot of times guys are just going to go at it instead of like they let the crowd kind of settle and take in the moment of who these two are,
Yeah.
and how big of a deal it is that these two are going at it.
Yeah, because the commentary was saying more often than not, if Okada and Tanahashi are in the same block, they're in the closing match of block action, not the opening.
Yeah.
So for that reason, just alone is a huge deal. The fact that it's not taking place in Japan, it's something else. And one thing about this show, everybody on the card, everybody, I don't know if there was a pep talk beforehand or what, everybody brought their A game, top to bottom. Every single wrestler. It's like nobody was taking a night off. Nobody was phoning it in. Even in the kind of the undercard tag matches that didn't really matter, everybody brought their A game. This match was fantastic. These guys can put on 5-star matches in their sleep, basically.
Yeah,
They've had like
yeah.
30 matches in their career against one another.
So they know each other. Obviously they
Yeah.
used to have a good connection, good chemistry.
Arguably the greatest rivalry of the last 10 years
Yeah.
between these two guys.
Absolutely.
Hot start to the match. There's this great bit where Okada's setting up for the first Rainmaker, and he does the pose, zoom out. And they actually did this kind of cool. So he does the pose, and then Tanahashi, you see him, he's tiny in the frame now because they zoomed way out. He sticks his legs up while Okada's doing the pose and tries to roll him up mid-pose.
That's awesome.
As often as these guys has wrestled, you'd think it'd be kind of hard to come up with
Different stuff
ways
in
to
the
approach
match. Yeah.
counters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because Tanahashi, this stage of his career, he's not quite the athlete he used to be. He's a little beat up.
Yeah.
So he kind of keeps it simple. You get dragon screw leg whips and sling blades a lot. But they still find ways to take, to use a musical analogy, take the same, the power chord and write interesting music together.
Yep.
But Okada won. It took 2 Rainmakers, I think, a Tombstone,
Oh my god.
and
Nice.
another Rainmaker.
Nice.
Like halfway through the match, Okada hits 2 Rainmakers. Doesn't even bother trying to go for a pin
Yeah,
because he knows
yeah.
that's not going to be enough to finish off the ace.
Yeah.
But a hell of a match, hell of a show, tons of fun, breezy. Okada closes the show with a promo. Fun match, fun show. If you haven't had a chance to check it out,
I heard the promo that he cut was like really good. So this is the first time here, but this won't be the last time.
watching the show kind of made me wish that if Steve wasn't out of town, we could have tried to make it out for it because it was awesome. It was really fun.
That's great.
And hopefully in the future they'll have more G1 shows in the States. They also announced that I guess in September they're doing a 3-date East Coast swing through Boston, New York, and Philly. In Philly, they're wrestling in the old ECW arena.
Oh, perfect.
And in New York, they're doing the Hammerstein Ballroom, I think, where they had ECW in the first two one-night only shows.
Yep.
So that's cool.
That's good that these guys are doing more tours in the U.S. Because that's the thing. When more people can see it, instead they're so familiar with, a lot of the stuff on the East Coast, like Ring of Honor and obviously like WWE and stuff. For them to like travel more and get more established in the States, man, it's just going to bring a bigger audience.
I know. It's kind of a bump. That's like the one kind of a bummer about All Elite is now, because I really enjoy New Japan's product.
Yeah.
With or without the Elite. I like New Japan's style of wrestling. I like the wrestlers there. But now that All Elite's the thing as the firm number 2 in the States, like if All Elite wasn't the thing, they probably would have had at least 2,000 or 3,000 more people at the show.
Oh, they would have had, the top AEW stars for sure.
Yeah.
And that they would bring in.
They would have maybe sold out the building. Yeah.
But I mean, like everybody's in a big rebuilding stage, So if anything, that just creates more opportunity for the guys that want to get there to really show their stuff. I mean, it's from my standpoint, it's like whenever I see, Ring of Honor's down, New Japan's down, it's like, well, they're not. They're just in a rebuilding stage.
Yeah.
And if anything, for all the young workers out there that are trying to make a name, man, this is your chance to like really hone your craft and like make your own impact to get on these shows.
Yeah.
That's the approach I'm taking. It's
how
do you, make yourself available, get opportunity, and make the most out of it.
I mean, especially you got Ring of Honor, obviously in a rebuilding phase after losing the Young Bucks and Cody, and you have Impact who are struggling to get a decent TV deal. Though I heard Slammiversary was very good.
I heard it was awesome. I saw on Twitter, Fulton tweeted about how people need to stop bashing Impact and like try to get on board with it. And because how awesome Slammiversary, and those guys are all trying to do different new things. So it's the fact, and it's because of that whole the TNA.
Oh, the stigma of it's still there.
The stigma of it,
and I'm guilty of that as well.
Yeah, it makes it hard to like get behind it. But like, I know guys there, and they're all fantastic. And we could talk about that. The slam. What is it? What was it called? The Impact. Was it slamming? The title of the show?
Oh, Slammiversary.
Yeah,
sorry.
Slammiversary. I don't know why I couldn't think of Slammiversary, but yeah, I don't know. Good for those guys.
Yeah, good for those guys. I mean, Steve and I have always said we just want as many places where wrestlers can go and make a good living doing what they love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of companies maybe struggling a little bit, let's talk before we get to our Raw preview. Fightful had an interesting little bit about what we could expect as far as the tone and such of Raw, at least tonight, probably going forward. Because last week we spoke about WWE programming maybe getting a bit edgier. Maybe not exactly return to the Attitude Era, but we saw with the storyline between Mike and Maria Kanellis, stuff that seemed pretty obvious that Paul Heyman was behind. This is what Fightful had to say. Quote, Fightful Select learned that the word going around is that WWE is really focusing in on the 1834 demographic this week after numbers for teens in particular were way up for the first week under a new executive director regime. Those we've spoken to say that the, quote, lost generation of 18 through 34 is going to be a major target going forward. Paul Heyman himself has been pretty transparent about his role in saying that Vince McMahon will always have final say and that the changes from Heyman's side are going to take some time. We're told that Heyman sits in the middle of the production meetings among other writers instead of at the front of the room and has spoken to several team members about Vince coming to grips with the fact that the program needs to be upgraded, and with that happening, true change could be on the way. Apparently, everything went swimmingly on Raw last week between Vince and Paul Heyman. Apparently, Vince was happy with how the show went. I mean, with Paul especially, he's got a relatively proven track record of at least doing interesting stuff creatively. You know, as most things in wrestling, not everything hits. But Heyman, at least he keeps his ear to the ground. He knows what's going on. He's in tune to what's going on in pop culture. So hopefully Heyman can do what he wants to do for the most part. And Vince will be like, cool, this is looking good. I got a football league to run. I'll see you later.
Yeah, exactly.
Ideally, it'll work that way.
Yeah.
Still, you know, getting to that prized 18-34 demo is going to be tough because they just consume entertainment in vastly different ways.
It's a lot different with how that age group, those damn millennials, the group I belong to.
Yeah, I think I'm just on the outskirts of the millennials too. So it's a very broad time frame to be a millennial.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens. But if they can make additional gains on what they did last week, I guess it's looking good. That said, let's do a Raw preview.
Yes.
This looks to be a packed show. First item on the agenda, Andrade and Zelina Vega throw down the gauntlet 1 week after Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch picked up a quick victory over Mike and Maria Kanellis on Raw. About that also included an astonishing surprise pregnancy announcement from Maria. The Universal Champion and Raw Women's Champion will battle Andrade and Zelina Vega on the final Raw before their winner-takes-all Extreme Rules mixed tag team match with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans at WWE Extreme Rules, as first reported by Sports Illustrated. That is a long sentence.
Wow.
Though the Beast Slayer and the Man's win over the Power of Love came relatively easily, the competitive couple will be hard-pressed to combat the conniving wild cards from SmackDown Live. This is actually some good writing. Can Rollins and Lynch maintain momentum against Andrade and his calculating business associate as they prepare to put both of their titles on the line against the Lone Wolf and the sassy Southern Belle? Apart from that run-on, that was a good bit.
It's funny that they're taking on Zelina Vega and Andrade, because between the Corbin and Lacey Evans match, Andrade and Zelina have way more experience, and they're a lot more talented performers. So it's funny that this is the match before they take on these guys. And it's like reality. Okay, I'd rather see Zelina and Andrade instead of Corbin and Lacey Evans. Just based on experience.
I know.
So
Andrade's awesome.
Andrade's awesome. And Zelina's a good little worker.
Yeah, she is.
So, man, I wish it was for a different reason. But you know what? Hey, we're going to get tonight on Raw.
Exactly.
So
it'll probably be 8 minutes.
I'm looking forward to that match.
8 minutes before Baron Corbin interferes.
Yeah. I know. Oh, commercial break. He'll interfere for a commercial break.
I know. He'll interfere for a commercial break. Now we're restarting the match.
And we're going to restart the match.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. All right, well, is the club taking over the Red brand? After failing to capture the United States Championship from Ricochet in the past Monday night main event, a frustrated AJ Styles joined Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in a sadistic post-match assault that culminated in a vicious second rope Styles clash to the title holder. The three longtime running buddies followed up on the brutality win with a symbolic too sweet gesture over the reeling Ricochet to signify to the WWE Universe that the club is back and they mean business. What might the official reunion of this take no prisoners tirade mean for the rest of the Raw locker room?
Wow. You're making the club sound awesome.
Yeah, that whole thing, I'm like, geez, club's badass.
Yeah, man.
If only they were that way, for the last 2 years.
I know.
But
they could be going places.
Yeah, exactly.
Roman Reigns and mystery partner to face Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre before no holds barred tag team showdown at Extreme Rules. Despite what they might have said on Raw and SmackDown Live this week, Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, whether they want to admit it or not, showed fear in the presence of The Undertaker with a dead man emerged this past Monday night. This apprehension might be why the Scottish psychopath and the best in the world turned their tag team battle against The Undertaker and Roman Reigns into a no-holds-barred match at WWE Extreme Rules next Sunday in Philadelphia. With that showdown looming, Reigns will have to team up with a partner of McMahon's choosing against the best in the world and McIntyre on Monday's Raw, as first reported by Sports Illustrated. They're getting all the exclusives these days.
Yeah.
Plus, if The Undertaker interferes in the match, he's out of this Sunday's matchup. Whoa. Who will build momentum for the respective teams just 6 days before Extreme Rules.
Yeah, this will be kind of a hard match to like really want to get behind.
Yeah.
But they're making it no holds barred. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I'm guessing part of that is just to work around Undertaker's limitations.
Yeah, that's the way I was looking at it. Just so they can work around him being a lot older.
A lot old and immobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Rey Mysterio returns to Raw this Monday night. Following the unbelievable set of circumstances in which he was forced to relinquish the United States Championship due to a shoulder injury, Rey Mysterio will return to Raw this Monday night. What will the greatest mask of all time have to say upon his return, and how he will impact the ever-changing landscape of the Red Brand? Find out when Raw goes down this Monday night at 8/7 Central on USA Network.
Oddly, that's not the end of the recap. The
greatest
preview.
mask of all time.
Yeah, that's been his thing. He's got that shirt that has GOAT, GOAT.
I remember, yeah.
But between the G and the O, he has a mask there.
Oh,
I didn't know
okay.
that's what it was supposed to say.
I was like, huh.
R-Truth wants his baby back. Drake Maverick spiced up his honeymoon with new wife Renee Michelle. Monday night on Raw when he pinned R-Truth, become the two-time 24/7 champion. As much as the title has seemingly destroyed Truth's life, he seemed visibly distraught to be without it on SmackDown Live. When will Truth strike back and become a 9-time 24/7 champion? And how is Drake's new bride coping with the possibility of walking into a surprise title defense at any time?
Yeah, I'm glad that these guys have been doing their own thing, creative-wise, from what it seems like.
You mentioned that R-Truth was on Edge and Christian.
Yeah,
right?
he was on Edge
Their
and
podcast.
Christian, and just how he's been really trying to make everything his own with
That's cool.
Drake, and Drake's been on the forefront as like, hey, trying to get involved, and because it's a silly title.
Yeah.
And from Rockstar's Spud experience and Impact, he did a lot of funny, silly stuff. I mean, he was down to do whatever. So it's cool that he's taking the initiative, trying to make this 24/7 title like really mean something.
Totally.
And it's a good change of pace for the show.
It
like
really
I was,
is.
Saying like every show should have a little bit of something different.
Exactly.
So having this kind of funny haha title, like it was the hardcore title, it's awesome.
It is. They made a lot. They made a lot of what could be just a silly gimmick thing.
Yeah. Will Jealous Joe get payback against WWE Champion? On SmackDown Live, Samoa Joe confronted Kofi Kingston, questioned the WWE Champion's, what was that, Serenity?
Yeah.
And when Kofi countered that the Samoan submission machine's bitterness was due to jealousy, Joe offered an apparent olive branch. Oh, nice. If Kofi were to shake his hand, Joe would cease attacks on the WWE Champion and his loved ones in the lead up to their WWE Extreme Rules title match. Unexpectedly, Kofi responded with a one-finger salute. Oh, hell yeah! That would make Stone Cold Steve Austin proud before dropping Joe with a Trouble in Paradise. Now that Kingston was rejected, that proposed ceasefire, which knowing Joe was nothing of the sort, how will the Samoan submission machine respond?
Wow.
Yeah.
What's next for Braun Strowman after Falls Count Anywhere match incident? After driving Bob Lashley through the LED wall during the Falls Count Anywhere match on Raw, Braun Strowman suffered several injuries, including a potentially ruptured spleen. Since the incident, there has been much conjecture about the condition of the Monster Among Men and the severity of his injuries, with little confirmation as to the true extent of the damage he sustained. The Almighty, however, was released from immediate care late Monday night with relatively minor injuries. Weird, since he was the one driven through the actual wall.
Yeah, he's the one that had a 400-pound man tackle him through the wall and pretty much probably land on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one that gets out without any injury.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. Taking to social media to say that Braun, quote, Braun got what he deserved, and that next time he sees Strowman, he would, quote, send him to the morgue. That's threatening murder. I think that's illegal. But
So you're going to send him to the morgue with, well, it sounds something that Paul, or was it?
Yeah. But given Strowman's alleged condition, next time anyone sees the Monster Among Men remains uncertain. So which pretty much guarantees we'll see him tonight.
Yeah. I have a ruptured spleen, but it's not going to hold me back.
You're still going to get these hands.
You're still going to get these hands.
All right, let's take some questions. Dylan Haggett, hey Cal, how's the Stranger Things watch?
It was okay. first season was the best. Second season was supposed to get you excited for third season, but it did not do that.
Wow.
It was okay.
Dom L says SmackDown Liv better than Cal. I don't know about that math.
And well, I mean, she's on SmackDown, so that, good for her. But
It is.
Liv Morgan's really nice. She's a really nice person. So I really don't care if she's better or worse than me.
Okay, that's a very diplomatic approach.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Dylan, again, Black should feud with Randy Orton for SummerSlam. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Fiend Kicks, what is the best case scenario debut for Bray, and how does it happen?
He just needs to have that Firehouse Funhouse on Raw, like live.
Yeah.
In front of a live studio audience.
That'd be cool.
But I don't know. Because how many they've done so far?
They did 8 episodes.
They've done 8?
And then not this past week, but the week before, they had the puppets show up.
Yeah, the puppets have been making little, they've been like Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know how they're going to make the transition from the show to live television. I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Dylan, again, Black Mass into RKO as a tag finisher, yay or nay? So you hit him with a Black Mass.
And then turn into an RKO.
Sure.
But then if someone kicked out of it, that just buries 2.
It does. That should be the most protected finish if that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Tommy Cat, hey, friendos, took a sick day. Anyway, everyone is expecting Bray. WB loves a cringy swerve like Dolph and the B Team or an Alberto Del Rio return.
Oh, if that's the one knocking on the
oh,
door? Is that what he's talking about? You know what? You won't see Alberto Del Rio because he started his own company in Monterrey, Mexico.
That's true.
And Dolph, I think,
He's in a thing with Kevin Owens now.
Yeah, he's in a thing with Kevin Owens. And then the B Team. It would have been great to see Bo Dallas when he first came with his old gimmick of Bo leave.
Yeah.
And then him knocking on the door for Aleister to tell him he needs to believe in himself. And then that would result in him getting his head kicked off his face.
That'd be pretty funny.
But no, those won't. I don't think WWE's going to do that. I'm really putting all my stock in that it's going to be Cesaro.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, it probably will be. I kind of want Buddy Murphy because I want to do something.
That'd be interesting. They would have a really awesome match if they let him do whatever. But I mean,
Big Don Paul, thank you. W.S. Fletcher, new member. I forgot to do Patreon shout outs at the head of the show, so I'll do them now. I'll probably do them again at the beginning of tomorrow's show. Thank you, Carl Bodsworth, Carlito243, and Scott, new patrons from over the weekend. Scrubs McKenzie, that's a good name. It says bearded Steve better than non-bearded Steve. I think that's math I agree with because bearded Steve is you.
It's me, but you know what? Without non-bearded Steve, I wouldn't be here. So, mad respect to non-bearded Steve.
Maybe it should be bearded Steve greater than or equal to.
Yeah. It's different.
It is.
It's different.
Dylan, again, I meant watching season 3. Yeah, you just said season 3, you just weren't. It was all right.
It was okay.
It was all right.
Wasn't a fan.
It was all right.
Penman writes, Cal, you seemed a little ashamed that saying you're listening to the Corny Pod last week. I don't think you should be. I think it's good to hear from both sides. I listen to every podcast because I like to hear people's opinions and approach. And sometimes I listen to a podcast just to, even though I know I'm going to disagree with what they're going to say, you just have to be open-minded to because sometimes you might get some good out of it and sometimes you might get some bad.
Yeah.
There's a podcast show where I listen to that just bashes everything WWE. Which, do I agree with it? Sometimes I don't. You should just be open-minded.
On the Twitter, Perry BS says, if All Elite gets 5 million views on their first TV episode, what happens? Hell will freeze over.
Hell will freeze over.
Hell will freeze over.
They would have to be... Man, what kind of, promotion work would they have to do to get that to be a thing? Would take.
They'd have to pay people to watch the show.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, they would have to pay.
I mean, if WWE's struggling to get 2 million on a consistent basis, to expect All Elite to get more than twice.
How many?
That.
So Raw after Mania, how many people were watching?
3.
3? Okay, that's. Yeah. They have to do something big, more excitement than WrestleMania. For them to get, even 3.
If their debut gets over 1 million, they should be ecstatic.
That would be huge because that just took 1 million viewers, that might watch WWE.
Yeah,
that would be big.
That would be huge. Greg Morris, Cal, what are your 5 favorite matches you've seen? I know you're not into the concept of favorite matches. But some 5 matches that have inspired you, that stuck with you?
Anything with I know don't say his name, but Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie Guerrero is the was it not Tiger Mask?
Oh, Benoit?
Yeah, Benoit versus Eddie. But Eddie was I think it's Tiger Mask, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
They've done some New Japan stuff.
Did Benoit wear a mask when he was Pegasus Kid?
I think he did.
Okay.
And then I remember one match I watched with Jason Jordan to like kind of get an idea of how to do triple threats was Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton versus Kurt Angle. That match was really good. I think Rey won. Mm-hmm. That match was really fun. Those are just two that stick out to me a lot. That like as far as like good grappling and a mixture kind of everything, like as far as like old school style matches. And I only have two. Like I can't really speak on 5 matches that stick out for me a lot because, man, wrestling's an art and art's always stolen.
That's true.
So
That's true.
That's hard for me to say.
Ezra Zealous, I think it's pretty universal how we feel. Shane shouldn't be the person in the position he is as lead competitor in his storyline. Would you say that you feel the same about Dolph in his storyline? I'm personally a fan, but feel he hasn't got anything in a few years. I just don't feel like Dolph's really adapted with the times. Like I still feel like he's more or less wrestling the same exact way he did in 2012.
Yeah, he hasn't really changed much. And with how athletic guys his size move around, you'd figured that. And then he is athletic, but he's a different athletic that's not, like you said, it's not fitting with the times. He's not doing high flying stuff. He's, like I said earlier, like it's great to see someone do a mat based wrestling, but it's hard to mat based wrestle when your boots are giant and you just haven't changed your look.
I know.
Like if I saw Dolph kind of change the way he wears his stuff.
Yeah, he's had the same pair of boots for like 15 years.
Yeah, and they're ugly and I hate them. And like I know it hinders his movement. Like get some new boots, man. It's it's such a small thing to point out, but
no, it's a fair point because he hasn't really changed anything.
Yeah.
And he's athletic, and I don't necessarily expect him to start doing 450s, but as adept he is apparently in mat-based stuff, so he comes from an amateur background.
Yeah.
So he has, I don't know, in my mind, I feel like he would have a wealth of knowledge on how to be a little more creative and how.
That's how I feel. Stuff. It's like he did. Okay, so there was one match where he hit a sick fireman carry move. It was against him versus Dean Ambrose. I forget what the match is, but anyway, he hit a sick like scramble move that's very amateur based into a fireman's, and I remember Michael Cole was like, "Oh, that's a great move!" Like just really, it was really awesome. And then eventually Dean countered with the dirty deeds. But that was one incident where like you got to see a little slickness from his amateur background. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really do that as much. No. And it's because I feel like maybe in his mind, if he has to be a heel, he has to wrestle that a certain type of way.
That could be.
Instead of just wrestle any way you want to wrestle.
I know. There's so many times where we've heard that people that are heels as character and think they can't wrestle an exciting style because they'll get the crowd behind them too much.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's the case these days.
Yeah. And I will say this, the guys on commentary, they say the same thing about Dolph every single time. Most winningest wrestler at Kent State. Like, that's old news. Like, I'm sorry. That doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
It literally, like, they can bring it up with, like, Tucker Knight, and like, they do that with Otis, but they don't really do amateur stuff that much. Mm-mm. It's just part of their background.
Yeah.
It's like someone said, Dolph, you really need to talk about how great of an amateur you are. Like, that really helps.
Yeah. That gets you over.
Yeah.
Even though you don't really wrestle amateur style.
Yeah.
So make sure I mention new member W.S. Fletcher because W.S. Fletcher's great. The Thing from Under the Ring, favorite Haas wrestler of all time?
Bam Bam Gordy.
That's a good answer.
Yep.
I'll say Vader.
Yep.
I was thinking over the weekend about the Vader Cactus Jack feud and how amazing that was at WCW. Although Cactus Jack getting powerbombed on bare concrete is rough to watch.
Yeah. Oh.
That's really rough to watch. I know we were looking through questions before. You love this one. Adam Rosen. Cal, if you had to write a current WWE storyline for Steven Larson, what would it be?
Oh, it'd be easy. So it'd be I'd have them an angle where something would happen that they would get divided, and then it's like who controls the show going on Raw, because you guys both run it equally. But then you find out it was me and Adam Mayhem that were trying to divide you two apart so then we could take over the show.
Oh, dear.
And then you would have just Mayhem trying to be really negative on everything WWE. And then me just being reluctant and be like, well, I think this is fine. And then just him and I arguing the whole time. Losing nothing, but all the friendos would go away. And then you guys would return and kick us out somehow. I don't know how. You wouldn't wrestle us.
We'd have no chance if wrestling was
It'd be some other type of scenario.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be.
You guys would outsmart us or something. I don't know.
I'm not that smart. Triple T, TTT says, Larson, you're Bischoff. Cal, you're Heyman. You both must negotiate together like it's legitimate. Pick 5 superstars each to call up and or trade your respective brands with 2 superstars you give new creative to and what those creative decisions would be. So I'm Bischoff. I'm on SmackDown. You're on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So pick 5 superstars each to call up and or trade.
So we have 5. So we can call up some guys from NXT, and then we could trade some guys over.
Yeah. If we can find the deal, yes.
Okay. Let's do call-ups first, because that'd just be easier.
Yeah.
Raw's the premier show, and I'm thinking about Heyman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I think Heyman, obviously Street Profits, because I think that was a Heyman call. Mm-hmm. So easy, Street Profits.
All right, I'll go with. I know you. We talked about this earlier. You had plans for Undisputed Era, so I won't take them, even though it breaks my heart.
Well, you can't. You can take them because I have somebody else in mind. All right.
I'll take Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
Because SmackDown apparently, or Fox wants SmackDown to be more sports oriented.
Yeah.
He's Johnny Wrestling. He's wrestling basically personified.
Awesome.
Wrestling is a sport. He should be on SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree. Because he is the things he does athletically, and he keeps it. He keeps everything interesting.
Exactly.
I think that's something that, and especially with like Bischoff creative wise, like Johnny Wrestling, Gargano, just everything he does in the ring's interesting.
Yeah.
And he's not much of a promo guy anyway.
No, but if you wrestle like he does, all you need is basic story beats to hit.
Yeah, he doesn't have to say a word. Just go out and wrestle. I'm gonna say trade creative. No, I was gonna say Matt Riddle too. But Matt Riddle's from New York, and I feel like Heyman and him could come up with some really good creative-wise. Because I don't know how protected he'd be on SmackDown as far as creative goes. I don't know how Bischoff and him would.
I don't know either.
Would vibe. But I know Heyman would probably, especially like how Riddle's been so open about like the Brock Lesnar stuff. And I think that would be something that Heyman and Riddle can come up with like a really cool story that would fit with Riddle trying to take on Brock.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll take Undisputed Era. I gave you a chance to take Undisputed Era. You passed on.
No, I think but the thing is, they're so creative on their own.
I know.
That they could, and like the way, dude, with how Adam Cole's delivery on the mic and like his presence, how he's so confident when he walks to the ring.
Oh, hell yeah.
He could take anything, I feel like,
Totally.
and like be
make
cool,
gold out of it.
Make gold out of it.
All right, do one more call up and we can do a couple trades.
I'm down to just do trades.
Okay.
Yeah. From SmackDown to
who do you want from SmackDown?
I'll take, because it seems like what?
No, I'm just like let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. Who do I got? I will take Aleister Black.
All right, what are you gonna offer from Raw?
I'll give you, who's a good trade from Aleister Black? I'll give you the Revival. Because
all right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I'll do that. I like the Revival a lot, and SmackDown's tag division needs a little depth.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Who from Raw would be? Oh, I want Drew full time on SmackDown.
You want Drew on SmackDown?
Yeah,
that's fair.
I'll give you Roman Reigns.
I knew that's the one I was hoping. You know what? Roman Reigns should be on Raw. He's not doing anything on SmackDown. He wasn't even on SmackDown. No, I was hoping you'd say that, and not to mention, Heyman loves Roman Reigns. The way he puts him over, that's perfect. That's perfect.
It works for you.
That works perfectly for me. I wanted to say Roman Reigns, but then you said it for me. That's perfect.
Done.
Awesome. We're on the same page.
There we go. Simpatico here.
Easy trade.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like which 2 teams in the NBA? Oh, like the Pelicans and the Lakers. Apparently, they work out all sorts of deals.
We can work it out.
All the deals.
Yeah.
It's only 4 moves, but that's fine. Blake Elizondo.
Well, we could do We can do 2.
We do one more trade.
Let's do. We'll do female superstars.
Oh, good idea.
Because we didn't do any female.
Yeah.
and we could do call up or trade.
Okay.
For Raw, on the Raw side, easy. Give me just her. Oh no, I can't even remember her name. Queen of Spades.
Oh, Shayna
Baszler.
Yeah, she's perfect for Raw.
Especially for her versus Becky. And I feel like Heyman, he knows his MMA.
Totally.
So I got Riddle. I got Shayna Baszler. I got Brock. This is perfect.
Man, that's good.
That's I'm cool with that. I know what you could say for like a girl call up for NXT. Because think about her chemistry with Charlotte, super athletes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay the seed right there.
I'll say Bianca Belair.
That's how. Yep.
Yeah, it was either her or Io, but I feel like Io's got a lot to do in NXT, especially now that I won't say that. After laying out Candice LeRae, there's a lot storyline wise for her to do. But she doesn't really something doing a whole lot with Bianca right now.
And I'm afraid for Io to get put up to main.
Yeah,
because I feel like Bianca Belair has a set character. The same with Shayna Baszler, so I feel like right away they can write for her. I don't know how well they're going to do for Io Shirai when they bring her up.
Yeah.
Because, like, first off, when I heard that the tag team stuff, I was like, oh, cool, they're going to have Io tag with Kairi Sane. Yeah. But then you find out, no, it's Kairi Sane with
Asuka.
And I'm like, oh, I like Asuka as a singles competitor.
Same here.
She does not need to do women's tag. Especially with the chemistry Io already has with Kairi Sane.
Amazing.
Like, they complement their style so well.
They really do.
So
They're so good together.
Now I'm just like, I don't know, like that kind of bummed me out. That was just really weak writing that they paired them up. I'm like, oh, lazy.
I know.
Fickle.
All right, let's do. I'll find one more. Here we go. Braden, will Apollo Crews ever win a title?
And I said this before the show. I just said he needs a personality. He needs something that would make you love him or hate him. Because right now you're just like, oh, it's Apollo. Cool. That's it. There's not anything behind him that makes me like want to.
I know.
He needs us to. I want him to be a cocky, dude.
I know.
Like the Too Easy.
Yeah.
It writes itself,
Yeah.
and like he can just promote that more and more, and then. But the problem is, if they did that, the commentators are gonna have to try to fill in the void on what his character is. I don't know if they're.
God forbid they actually give him some mic time.
I know.
Or a segment where he can actually show off his personality.
You know, it was cool seeing him and Zelina, and then that setup with him and Andrade. But now that dropped because now it's Andrade.
I know.
But unless I don't know. Maybe,
I don't know either.
What if something happens where Corbin gets in the way with Seth, and then Cruz gets in the way of Andrade?
Maybe.
And that, like they can overbook this one, and as long as it carries on the characters.
Maybe. Yeah. Have Apollo come up and make the save when Corbin runs in.
Yeah,
reignite their feud from NXT.
That would be gotta be fun.
That would be fun.
Anything.
I know anything.
Give
anything.
Cruz the chance
because he's great.
He's awesome.
That does it for us. Patrons, YouTube channel members, stick around. We got Overrun happening next. Until then, we'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.